I'm Gary Comer with Soul Whisper Ministries, and today we're going to focus on breakthrough skills. And this gets really exciting as we zero in on actually reaching someone. So let's take a look at where it is in the three engagement stages of the relational evangelism process. We have the torch, and that's the beginning the conversation and getting it moving, getting alongside someone. And then we have the trail part where you're walking with someone, you're journeying with them, you're loving on them, you're getting to know them, and you're having a dialogue about faith. But then you get the traction part, and that's when, after this investment that you've made, you are coming to the place where you really want to see them come into the faith. Two leader friends of mine, Gavin Linderman, who is a church planter in urban Phoenix, and also Joshua Stock, who's the president of Snowboarders for Christ, both told me the same thing about their people. He said that their younger constituencies were doing a great job of reaching out to their non-believing friends relationally, but they were struggling with reaching them. They were struggling to break through. And I've learned some things in my upbringing. My dad was a four-wheel drive guy, and so we made all sorts of excursions. I remember the trip down to the Baja Peninsula where a whole bunch of Jeeps got stuck in the mud. And so what did we do? We would go through the hillsides and we would scavenge for twigs and branches and brush, and we would bring them out, and then we would throw them underneath the tires. And we'd also jump up and down on the back of the vehicles to get the tires pushing down in that mud to get traction. And that's really what I want to do in the spiritual sense here. I want to give you some branches to put down, to get that traction happening, to get it moving. And so here's the first one. It's to anticipate them coming to faith. We need to be the first to believe they will believe. And that's a powerful seed. If we can get them to actually envision themselves coming into the faith and becoming a Christian, that's a very powerful thing. They're visioning something that can happen. I had a conversation with one of the friends that I was journeying with, and we talked about the reaction of his wife when he became a Christian. And this was before he became a Christian. But we laughed about it and we talked about it. And it was really very powerful, I think, in helping him move forward. Another branch is to contrast doubt and faith. Doubt is a closed door. Doubt goes nowhere. Doubt leaves you right where you are. Faith opens up a whole new world. And with God, we know it opens up something that is so amazing you can't even imagine it. But we need to make that contrast. And I want to credit John Ortberg for all his contributions with his book, Faith and Doubt, on that one. But we need to have that conversation. That sometimes can be the leverage that moves them forward when they really begin to see what faith does, and we begin to give them the picture of that. Another branch is to go experiential. And what I mean by that is here we're asking them to seek God in some way. They're not a believer, but we're asking them to seek God in prayer. We're asking them to have God reveal himself to them. We're asking them to seek God to show up in some tangible way in their lives. And in our time, people more than ever are looking for God to be real. And they're looking for God in the everyday things that they see. And our Lord is active in seeking people and drawing them. And as they begin to pray, amazing, miraculous breakthroughs happen. So it's a very, very powerful skill. And another one that I think everyone needs is to know that there is a right time to ask your friend where they are with their decision or what is holding them back. And that can lead them into a deep contemplation about this whole faith decision. And sometimes it's the branch that provides the leverage to move them forward into that decision. And if there's one great final branch, it's love. It's love. It's the way we love them. I remember with my friend, I had a long journey going with my particular friend, David. And I remember sitting down outside the coffee place, and he looked at me and said, "You've been meeting with me for 7 months now." And I looked back at him in his eyes, and I told him, if it took another 7 months for him to come into the faith, I would meet with him for another 7 months. And he knew at that moment that I loved him. And friends, it is so important that we're willing to go the distance with our friends, that we're willing to get alongside them and not give up on them as we're praying for them, as we're working through this whole process. We have to ask ourselves, do we have the commitment that it will take ultimately to see them make this journey into faith?